ever had a memory crash back into your heart? A moment where you thought it was long gone, but then suddenly you're drowning in emotions. You were sure you had healed yourself. Ooh, Lord. This is exactly what happened to me when I did the healing work of week 7. Welcome to week 7 of Finding Your Soul's Voice. I am Laura Lalaki, soul searcher, vocalist, and a being who is working on walking in my life purpose. If you're just joining me in this series is based upon the work of Julia Cameron in her book called The Artist's Way. This is my journey, and I'm not associated directly with the author or her book, but it is in my hopes that in this sharing of my journey with you, that you will also join me in finding your soul's voice. So let's get into it. This week is all about connection with yourself, with others, and with the creative current that runs underneath everything. So in chapter 7, the focus shifts toward listening instead of forcing or choosing progress over perfection and taking the risk that feels uncomfortable but necessary. Now, jealousy gets reframed as a guidepost, turning you to what you truly desire, while humility becomes the grounding force that keeps you open and honest and brave. Now, by leaning into this flow, you stop isolating your creativity and you start seeing it as a part of something larger, something that you get to join and not control. You see, sometimes creativity feels like climbing a mountain. It's hard, it's heavy, and you feel like you're doing it all on your own. And other times it feels like being caught in a river current that you can't get out of. It's something bigger than you, but it's carrying you forward if you would just stop fighting it. This week's journey is all about that feeling of connection. Not just connection to others, but to yourself, to your voice, and to the creative flow that keeps showing up whether you're ready for it or not. This was a hard one for me, so much so that I had to take more than 1 week on this because things came up that I wasn't quite prepared for. So let's tackle jealousy, okay? I'll admit something here. Jealousy gets me. And here's where it normally gets me. It's when I go to places like concerts, performances. I sit there watching a singer or a performer and I suddenly see myself on the stage. The lights, the crowds, the energy, the music is vibrating through my chest. The last concert I went to was Lenny Kravitz. Oh, when I came out of there, I was on such a high. A high. Just the vibrating of the crowd, it hit me dead in my chest. And it felt so real to me that I actually had an ache. And it was a stinging ache. Why haven't I walked in this purpose sooner? Why have I waited? Time is moving against me. I'm 55 years old. Why didn't I start walking in this purpose earlier? So that spiral, it used to shut me down because any concert I went to, I would always leave there, whether I loved the concert or not, which most concerts I do, I always took it internally and it would throw me into a dark place because it used to spiral me and it used to make me really go into the dark depression. But I've learned that jealousy, because this is a form of jealousy, it really is. It's not about the person or the performer or whatever it is in your life. It's really about me. It's a blinking bright neon sign pointing toward what I deeply want in my life. Seeing someone else on stage doesn't mean that I failed. It means my soul is reminding me, girl, this is your dream too. Don't ignore it. Now, I let those moments fuel me. Instead of sulking, I take it as a push to keep manifesting myself on my stage, which my stage is me here in my creative room. I imagine myself being very vivid. I imagine myself in front of the crowd, smiling and clapping and moving with me. Now, you see, we used to do this as kids, right? One of my favorite things that I used to do as a kid was to just perform like I was in front of a crowd. And, then we stopped doing that as we get older. Well, I've gone back to that. I go back to imagining and also pretending and having fun because that's a form of manifestation. So I imagine the crowd smiling and clapping and moving with me. But here's the shift. In my vision, it's not just the audience that's happy. I am overjoyed too. Because singing isn't just about giving joy, it's about receiving it. It fills me in a way that nothing else can. Now, I want to talk about something personal, a part of my memories. I want to share something interesting that came up when I had to tackle jealousy. When I was writing in my morning pages, a memory came up from when I was in middle school. Now, I was teased so much in middle school. I didn't fit in. I was bullied. And there's one bully in particular that still I'm working with in my heart. I did not have a good time in middle school. Middle school was not a good part of my life. I was teased mercilessly. Yeah, I was teased. I had serious bullies. I just didn't fit in. Now, in the 7th grade, I did do a talent show at the end of the year. Things shifted a lot for me. I actually got a little better life after doing that talent show. I got to sing, and that's where I was happy, right? Now, don't get me wrong. After the talent show, I still struggle with folk. But life did get a little better after I stepped into what made me happy. It's something about music and people. But here's the problem. Here's where I had the jealousy issue. I never won the shows. I did one in 7th grade and 8th grade. I wanted to win it so bad. I even remember what I sang. I sang in 8th grade, I did A Dream by DeBarge. Yeah, I remember that so clearly. Now, I never won the show. Why? I always took a back seat to another girl who I will call Jennifer. Now, that ain't her name, but I got a lot of folk who know me on this page, and I'm not going to out anybody. You see, Jennifer was a powerful singer. She was a belter. I don't even remember if she did a lot of riffs and runs, but she was a strong singer. I didn't have the acrobats that she did at that time, but every damn year she won that talent show, and I had jealousy rear its ugly, nasty 7-dragon head. But I actually turned it into self-upset. I put the reflection on me. Why wasn't I as pretty? Because she was a very pretty girl. Why could I not sing like her? Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? I didn't realize how long I carried that little dark seed in my brain. I'm freaking 55 years old. And that memory brought back some pain. So this time I looked at it differently. And I started to see that what she was doing was something that I also could learn to do. Yeah, I ain't got to sit back and pine over it. I just have to work on it. But I know that it's possible now. I don't know why in my little 7th grade and 8th grade brain that I felt like that was impossible, like I couldn't get any better. Now, I did flip that. And I'm taking that energy that came up to me because I cried over this when I wrote this in my morning pages. I like to call them morning papers. But one thing that I did write in my book was, I don't know whatever happened to Jennifer, but I released the jealousy. And I sent out some positive vibes to her wherever she is today. You see, out of that jealousy, I have fuel to push forward and release the dark seed so that it can bloom. So Jennifer, which is not really your name, but if you ever come across this, you know who you are. I hope that you are doing well, and I hope that you are living in your purpose. Now, out of that, I came up with a prompt that I'm going to share with you. I want you to write down where jealousy shows up in your life. Instead of seeing it as shameful or painful, ask yourself, what desire is it pointing you toward? Because this is fuel, this is rocket fuel for you to tap into your creativity. And then I want you to actually listen, because that is a big part of week 7, is listening, not just putting things out there, but to actually listen to what comes back to you. Because there's a still small voice that talks back to you. You have to listen to that in order to use that to tap into your creativity. So have you taken some time to listen? Or do you just let your brain chatter on endlessly? Listening requires you to be quiet. Now, I know people meditate. I love meditating. I do well. And one of the things that I had a horrible mistake of understanding is thinking that you can quiet your brain all the way. Thoughts come and go, even in your meditation. And sometimes those thoughts that come in are there for a reason. You're supposed to tap into them. It's not about clearing your mind where you don't think about anything all the time. Now, maybe a meditation expert feels differently. But for me, I used to think that I was failing at meditation because I couldn't keep my mind quiet. Now, I can definitely lessen the chatter. But in my meditations, I'm learning to listen to that still small voice. I'm not perfect at it. Nowhere near it. But it does help me to tap into my higher purpose, right? So another thing that I learned and that is tackled in the book is progress over being perfect. This journey isn't glamorous. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't share with people. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't want the world to see. And one of the mistakes that I see today is that everybody who seems to be posting online never shows the struggle. I'm showing the struggle, y'all. This is la. This is an open book la. Now, of course, there are things that I don't share because they're private and they're for me. But for the most part, I'm sharing with you this journey because what I don't like to see is perfection all the time. I like to see that people are working toward a goal, that they're showing the behind the scenes. They're showing the tears. They're showing the struggles. They're showing the successes. To me, that's more important than coming on and being perfect at all time, right? Life isn't perfect. Life isn't glamorous. There is a dirty behind the scenes sometimes. Now, How I'm doing this is I've been putting myself out there, practicing my riffs and my runs. And let me tell you, it's been humbling. When I say I'm putting myself out there, I will post them sometimes on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on my Facebook. And when I listen back, sometimes I absolutely cringe. It's very humbling because most of the times when I'm practicing, I don't hit those notes. Sometimes I don't even come close to those notes. I'll replay the clip and I'll sit there and go, oh, do I really want to do this? Do people really want to see this? But then I'll try again. And one attempt, I'll land it. And in that moment, I feel it. Not just hear it, but I feel it. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my throat. I hear it in my singing voice. It's like my body is teaching me what the right note feels like, almost before my ears actually confirm it. That's what progress looks like. It's not polished, but it's stumbling forward, one shaky note at a time. Now, sharing those attempts publicly is nerve-wracking because people can be cruel. I call them coward behind keyboards. I haven't had any trolls yet on the singing part, but I know they might show up once in a while, right? And when they do, I'm ready to treat their words as fuel because of my experiences with bullies before. I know that there are also bullies online, right? That's also another way of gaining a skill of protecting you, but using it as fuel. Because even if someone is criticizing, it means I'm visible. It means I'm trying. And that's more than I can say when I was quiet and hidden. Perfection used to keep me frozen. Now, progress is my measure. Every missed note, every awkward video, every take that I don't post, all of it is proof that I am in motion. I'm moving forward, right? So now I'm going to twist this because I'm going to ask you a question. Where are you holding back because you want things to be perfect? What small, imperfect action could take you today to move you forward? What small, imperfect action could you take today to move you forward? Listen, risk is a part of being vulnerable. Risk is the entire ticket to this whole process. Every time I hit record on my phone, I feel the nerves creep in. What if I sound bad? What if no one likes it? What if I embarrass myself? But risk is where the connection happens. When you put yourself out there and you're not polished, not invincible, but really raw. People don't just see your art, they see your courage. And courage is contagious. And that's why I have created this series. I don't want to do this by myself. I hope that it inspires someone else, you, to walk in your life purpose. I know that this is true because I've felt it from other people who have done similar things online as well. I've watched singers who weren't technically perfect, but they've actually moved me to tears because they were brave enough to be real. And that's what I want in my life. I want to be real. That's the kind of artist I want to be. Someone who connects, not just impresses, with acrobats and flashy lights. I I want to connect because that's what music does for me. Lyrics and music and movement move me so deeply that I don't even really have the words. So, what risk can you take this week? It could be big, it could be small, but what risk can you take this week that would open the door to a deeper connection with yourself and with others? Another thing that Julia tackles in week 7, shrinking yourself down. It's about showing up honestly without pretending you have it all figured out. Putting myself online, sharing very messy practice sessions, risking criticism. It's all practice and humility. Because I know when those do come, I'm going to have to deal with those trolls. And here's the surprising part. Humility feels freeing. When I drop the act of having to be great, I actually enjoy myself more. I laugh at the missed notes. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of times that I don't laugh. I actually get a little frustrated. But I'm having more laughter moments. I celebrate the tiny wins. I find joy in the process instead of holding joy hostage for some future. I don't want to hold my joy hostage with a perfect version of myself. That humility also connects me to others because the truth is, no one relates to perfection. We connect to the cracks, the stumbles, the humanity. That is what, oh, somebody's calling me. Blooper. That is what makes art powerful, not flawless, right? It's vulnerability. So, all right, we've tackled that. Where in your life could a little humility free you from pressure and open you up to more joy? So I want to share with you something that is a tool that I'm using right now that has been grounding me. You ready? An old school metronome. Yeah, you can download these on your phone and all that stuff, but there is something that I've always wanted within this. It clicks. And that gives me a feeling of connection. And I'm going to show you. And you can speed it up and slow it down, right? Okay. There's something about that back and forth motion when I am practicing that kind of puts me into a trance, and it helps me to focus on the notes that I'm singing. Yeah, it's old school, but it's something about that click, click, back, forth motion. I love watching that little pendulum swing side to side. It gives me rhythm to lean into. It's something steady when everything else feels a little shaky. So I break down tiny little clips of runs and I just do them over and over and over until I just feel like, okay, then I'll click it up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm feeling it in my throat. Practicing with it reminds me that creativity has a beat, a flow, a pulse. Even when my voice wavers, the rhythm is there to catch me. And in a way that is all about what this week's work was about. Trusting the steady flow beneath the uncertainty. Do I nail it every single time? And I know when I don't, but I also know when I do. So, what tool or ritual or habit helps you find your rhythm when your life feels unsteady. You can see why week 7 has been really rough for me. Because I tapped into a lot of truths and a lot of things that I've just been holding within myself, right? Connection isn't about isolating yourself until you're perfect. It's about stepping into the current. And that means all your flaws, all your fears, and all of the unfinished work. And letting yourself be carried with that flow. For me, it looks like jealousy pointing me toward my dreams instead of away from them. It looks like risk and vulnerability every time I hit a post and post it. It looks like progress instead of perfection, humility instead of hiding. Now, for you, that might look different, but the heartbeat is the same. Show up, even when it's scary. Listen to the whispers of what you want. Sit in that silence and open your spiritual ears. Take the risks that call you forward and trust that every imperfect step is proof of you connecting to yourself, to your art, and to the larger flow that is carrying us all. Now, I've got 3 affirmations for you this week. You know that I absolutely love to give you some. If you don't have some of your own, you can tap into these. Now, you know we write these every day. We write 5 times. 3 affirmations, 5 times a day. Number 1, I trust the flow of creativity to carry me forward. 2, my imperfections are proof that I'm growing. 3, I share my voice with courage, joy, and humility. Yeah, week 7 was rough for me. Yeah, rough. Took a little time to settle into that one. Brought up memories that I thought I had put away. Now, this week, don't forget to download your workbook. Okay, the link is in the description. And if you want to purchase the book by Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way, it is also referenced below in the description. Here are a few reminders of what you need to do for this week. Write in your journal, 3 pages a day. First thing in the morning. Your morning pages, I call them morning papers, are an important part of doing this work. And sometimes you may feel like they are a chore instead of a task that helps you tap into your creativity. But do them. Even if you're writing blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The thing is, you're supposed to just tap into that 3 pages and just do it. Now, you're not reading them yet. It's not time. Do not go back and read them. Close your book once you're done. Also, don't forget to take yourself out on a date. I haven't done that recently. Do something that gives you joy. Not with anybody else, just you. If you want to go to the beach, go to the beach. If you want to go to the movie, go to the movie. If you want to go to the bookstore, go to the bookstore. If you want to sit and watch a movie all by your lonesome and eat popcorn, do it. Now, I'm actually going to ask you a favor. Please interact with me. I want to know if you're finding that this series is valuable. I really want to hear from you. And now I'm asking you to please share this with someone that you think it might help. And I'm thanking you in advance for that. Because this world is pretty heavy right now. Anytime you look at any social media or any news channel, it just always sounds like doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom, 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 doom and gloom. I don't want that. I don't need that. Yes, I am aware of what's going on in the world, but I can choose to sit back and cry over it, or I can choose to continue to work on myself to be a better human. And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on it. Now, if you're just joining this series and you just caught this week 7, there are many other parts. If you're watching on YouTube, I've created a playlist for you. You can start from the very beginning. Okay? Do not rush through this. This is something that you need to take time and to lean into. This is not a race. It's not a race. It's about growing and being better. And I hope that you could see that I'm getting better. And I hope that you are too. I am Laura Lala Key, vocalist. And I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Go be a good human. You never know when a smile is actually going to change somebody's life. Mwah. Sugar. See you next week.